Hello YouTube, modeling community. I'm stoked. I'm stoked to the point that I don't want to do this review because I want to build this so bad that I'll fall into bad habits. And that would be stopping what I'm doing and starting another model that is going to require a good amount of my time. So let's see if I can muster through this. This will be an open box review. And kind of some talk on my ideas, my thought into it, as you will, and what inspired me to want to do this. So let's just start there. Inspiration is not so much inspiration. I've not seen anything via Instagram, Facebook, any social media or card shows or anything like that that inspired me to build this. I have had in my possession one or the other at any given time when I was younger. And then, of course, they didn't get built. I don't think it was the combo team together. It was one, and then I got the boat separately, and then I had gotten a couple other kits that came out as kind of this theme. One was a bass boat. One was another one. I think one had an El Camino pulling it. And I can't remember what the other one had. It might have been a pickup truck. I think it was a pickup truck. It was a speedboat. So when those all came out, I got those like in the probably early 90s. But those went, to the young gentleman I've talked about before. But over the years, I've seen, the Chevy van. Like, how would I build a van nowadays? Would I give it the 70s and 80s look? The air shocks, the big wide tires, the Krager wheels, and the custom paint job, as now as we call them, the rape vans, the Chester vans, you name it. Vans have got a bad name. So I'm going to try to change the opinion that most people have associated with vans nowadays, and that's we're going to give the van a very high custom look. I think we are going to stay to the 70s and 80s theme of the way the vehicle would, the stance, the presence of it, and everything else. The boat, that's my primary target for the detail. Not to shy away from the van. The van's going to get its fair shake of detail too. But keep in mind, guys, the engine is not really, you don't see it. We will wire the engine just in case. You can see it from underneath or anything like that, but primarily you never see the engine again. These van kits, the focus, if you want to put it into it, is the interior. We are undecided. That might be a first time. Undecided on opening the doors. Doors meaning the side door or the back doors, and the driver and passenger door. Don't know yet. We may open one or we may open all. It's just kind of when I get into the flow of it, how I feel and how deep I want to get into it. I don't think I want to get into it that deep. Color scheme, you guys heard me talk about it before. I do not like that retro garbage. Sure, somebody liked it. The green and the gold and the yellows and the browns. I personally don't like it. It turns me away from it. It looks common. It's like I said before. This is the way I perceive it. It doesn't mean it's factual and written in law. It's just the way I perceive that. That's ugly. I just don't like that color combos. It's a good hunk of plastic to really be vivid with your colors, and you have all kinds of choices you can take from the greens and yellows and golds and light browns, into a whole different world instead of using that. Now, if you like that in the retro, and maybe that's what was released with it, years ago, I'm not for sure, but kudos to you. That's it's yours. You do what you want to with it. I like the new box art about that much. It's what's really popping out at me and what's standing out to me. But Rusty Rotor's head, we've got to take it a few steps further. So with the van, if you look at the box art, it looks like it's maybe white. It could be silver. And either one of those color combos would be really nice. And you could even go as far as, under shading with your airbrush, and for either color, and adding and making it look like the cartoonish box art. Because at the end of the day, this isn't a real picture of a van and boat. It's just a rendering, drawing, whatever you want to call it. And it looks a little cartoonish to me, the shading and everything, and it's cool. That's what is actually standing out to me, saying, hey, this is what we could do. So we're going to go along those themes. We're not going to cartoon it, though, but we're going to do for the first time ever, and I am going to practice on something first, just to see if the look I can do is the look I want. And we may change up a little bit when we get to that point, but we're going to try to fade. We're going to be using all tropical glitz colors other than primer. I think everything's going to get primed in black as far as body wise. The van will be a base color silver, which is a tropical glitz color. It's meant to be a base underneath candies or pearls. And then we're going to shoot a secondary color over that, a second base color. It's called Miami. It's the one I'm going to be using on the 53 Chevy build. But we're going to use that for our top color. And then we're going to fade down to a brand new color that they have. It's a candy color. And it's a candy base also. So we're going to fade down off that Miami Nights, or I think it's called, or something like that, and fade down to the new color. I don't want to say what it is yet until I get it in, and then we can we'll review the colors together, and you can see what they look like together. So hopefully it'll give a color shift appearance with a fade. And then we have some flake, I guess best way to do it, that I can add to my clear coat. So we'll do a base coat of clear with that flake in it, and then we're going to, after that cures, and we'll probably wet sand out real good, and then we're going to use the box art, the main box art decals, the ones with the blues and the red and everything else. I like that red because we will put calipers and rotors on the van, so it'll have touches of red on the calipers to coincide with the decals on the van. A light, beautiful color. Then when we get to the boat, since the boat gets pulled behind the van, it's going to look like the flow of color goes from that and goes up underneath the boat. So we're going to reverse fade the boat to the bottom fade of the van will be the bottom fade of the boat, fading up into the base color, and so on and so forth. So it's just going to be reversed, coming down on the van, going down to the bottom, coming up under the boat, and back to the top. So they should look really good, connected together, and the color scheme be the same. Difference is the engine, undecided again. We will either use the Boss Roots 429 that I have, if it matches up to the outdrive of the boat, or maybe even a 572 Chevy, and keeping it true to nature. Chevy van, Chevy engine in the boat. Guy's a diehard Chevy fan. So we just got to see which engine will line up with the existing kit outdrive portion. I do not like the intake on the box art, and I don't like the high-rise fuel injection. Never been a fan of that. So the blower doesn't bother me, and we very well may end up using a blower. If it's the Chevy, it'll be the Whipple supercharger. If it's the Boss Roots, of course, it's already a supercharged. I think it's a 1071 blower on it. We will use the zoomies. May not be this particular set, but we will use the zoomies. We will detail the skis. The boat will receive most of the detail. Cable drives from the shifter, and ignition, the gauges, wiring on the engine, hoses, so on and so forth. We're going to try to really deck the boat out because it's like a convertible. It's all open. Everything's visual at where the van is closed off. We will detail up the trailer. And by detail, I mean we'll probably put some wood planks on the guides and 3/4 cover those with, I have some material kind of looks like that grass, artificial turf, whatever that you'd lay out on a porch, to wrap those in once we stain the boards. And then the trailer will be painted probably maybe silver and high gloss. All the wheels will match all the way around. So that's another thing. I don't think the trailer wheels match the van's wheels, but they will. So now you kind of get my idea and my perception on it, and you know what I want to do. And of course, any given time I could have got one or the other and put them both together and created this, but it's like, I pass on it because prices may not be right. I'm not feeling it. But then when I saw it was re-released, I was like, I really want to do that for the channel. It's something I really want to do. So it just all came. And thank you to Mark, Hobby Nut Models, for sending this to us. Because if it wasn't for him, I would have to wait and scrape up the extra money and get everything planned out. I fortunately have everything we're going to need, other than the paint I'm waiting on. And I've got it in my cart. I just haven't ordered it yet because there's a couple other little things I wanted to do prior to make sure that that's what I want before I spend the money and buy the paint. Because we do have a similar scheme that we can do with what I already have. So it just depends. So without further ado, we'll get into some information on the box. The van is customized Chevy with Krager SS mags. And I was right, the trailer has like baby moons on it, and like now, if you're customizing a van and a boat and you want them to match and everything, the trailer wheels are going to be the same as what's on the vehicle. To me, but anyways, it's got wide Goodyears, bubble portholes, header side pipes, captain's chair, high back bucket seats, custom steering wheel, road lamps, 350 V8 engine. So that's a nice engine. We can definitely add a little flair to it. The dual exhaust. We can add headers to the engine. We can add some plug wires, upper and lower hoses. So if the van's flipped upside down, you can definitely see there is some detail in there. It's just you'll never see the top of the engine. So why spend a lot of time there? I'm not going to open the hood. If the hood's already open, that's fine. We may add a couple other little goodies underneath there just for looks. If not, we may just open the hood. That way we can detail up the top of the engine a little bit more and make it a little more visual. Even though if you ever looked at a van, even when you open the hood, it's basically just the front of the engine. You can see the fan belts, the fan, your washer fluid, brake fluid, so on and so forth. So, but it is some possibilities. There is a hitch on the van, and the trailer does connect to the hitch. So the boat information it gives here is Kinsvader custom hull with Ford 427 overhead cam V8 engine, V-drive, cavitation plate, twin bucket seats. Power options include drag and ski props or propellers, wet and dry exhaust, blower, tri-carb induction, plus water skis. So you can do a tri-carb, which that's not a bad look either. It's a little lower. That's why I like that Whipple supercharger. It sits a little lower. You don't have to see this big honking engine sitting out of a boat to get excited about it. It's the look of the boat, and knowing it's got this big engine and it's a super fast thing on the water. So it is re-released by round 2. The kit number is AMT 1338/06. I've not found a year on here, but this just came out in 2023, so that would be the new release date. As far as what it's after, I don't know. Even on the back, I really didn't see. I looked, I didn't see a year anywhere. Kind of glancing here again. It does have 256 parts. Of course, on the back of all AMT kits, you know, you get a little diagram of the parts that are in the box, which are pretty cool. And then, you know, look at the decal sheet. So we will pause this video here for a second. I'll get it set up at a different angle, and we will be back to open this box up and take a look. Stand by, please. Okay, guys, we're back. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. And little adjustments here I'm bringing along for the confusion and the craziness. So you can see there. So you can see how I was talking about the box art. You know, you can't really depict if it's white or if it's silver. It kind of looks like both with the cartoonish shading they did here, which is really cool. And that's what stands out to me. But what really stands out to me is this is where I got my inspiration. So you can see the boat is really bright white back here. So you know, chances are they're both white. Sorry for the in focus, out of focus. But you can see the shadowing here. The shadowing adds a cool effect. Makes it look like it's, you know, faded maybe from a medium gray up to white. And you should see white where the light's hitting all along here. So light comes down, highlights the areas it can, and then everything else is in the shadows. So you can see right by the end of aqua rod, it starts going into the gray and gets a little darker down here. So by natural light and what the artist was going with, it creates a natural fade. So that's where I got my inspiration for the paint job. And then the van, you figure the van is taller and it's in front, so why not start with the lighter and move down to the darker and fade it towards the back where it's coming down and coming back up underneath the boat, back up to the top. So there, I hope that helps with the with my visual that I'm getting. So normal fade to reverse fade on the boat. And we may very well stick with the wooden deck up here on top. It may even have a wooden deck in the floor of the boat. If not, we'll do the indoor-outdoor carpeting type look. So, you know, we'll kind of get a better look at that as we get in here. So, let me reposition this real quick. And we will get going on this. See how we can do this. I don't know how well it's going to hold, guys. Anyways, so like any other time, we got our trusty little friend here. Get it in there and cut her open. This one I want to keep the plastic really good on the top of the box and just remove the bottom. Believe it or not, guys, by doing this, it does serve a purpose. A lot of people don't care, they just rip the plastic off. But if any of you known and you've tried in the past, you know, you go to model shows or swap meets, and a lot of times they have kits that are just in plastic bags. And they don't have a box. Boxes become valuable to the people that are seeking, you know, collection purposes, as far as, well, you know, I'm a collector, not a builder. By keeping this plastic on here, you're protecting the box itself. The main part, the top, as pristine as you can. And then when you go to a swap meet and you find a kit, say you've already built this, and hey, lo and behold, they have the whole kit but no box because it got damaged so bad. Now you have a box to put your kit in and keep it, you know, keep it pristine. So that's why I keep the plastic on there like that. Or somebody may contact you and say, hey, you know, if you've already built that, or what are you going to do with the box? You can sell the box sometimes for $5 or $10, depending on the age of the kit. This I like. When you see this, you know it's been packaged good for protection of the kit. Not to mention it's good diorama material for down the road. We'll just set that on the floor and get it out of our way. And then I'll kind of tilt it up here and you can kind of see just tons of plastic. And we may very well move this camera several times, guys. We need to get on a lower point. Let me set you down here and you can stare at my dust. What is the purpose of having that if... Well, it's not wanting to cooperate like it did in pre-trial here, or pre-testing. It's definitely, nope, that's going to flip. All right, give me a second here, and we'll try something different here. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. I had this worked out, but that was a no-go and was not working. So we'll try it this way. Let's see what we can do. I want to get the best angle and keep my hands free. Oh, that looks pretty good, I guess. Whoa. Okay, again, as you can see, you get your tires. They're pad printed. Goodyears. We will use the kit tires. And see, the tires all match, which is perfect for what we want to do. So we get four exact matching tires. Or 6, I'm sorry. So the trailer tires will match. I guess this is what I grabbed first. This is what we'll look at. We're going to open everything today. Again, I just cut the tops off. Be mindful of loose parts. First chrome tree. Get that off there. We can kind of see, here's the zoomies. They're not bad looking at all. We can surely modify and use real aluminum here where the tips come off of it if we want, and that's a good possibility. They have all the Bigfoot pedals. Some of these are for the boat, the blower housing, front cover or rear cover. There's the drive, engine support. I don't know what these little parts here are. These might just be rails or something. There's one of the props. Propellers. Looks like a custom steering wheel. Here's the front drive of the blower. And then we got another steering wheel and chrome. I guess this would be part of the outdrive here and here. The big 427 valve covers, which I do like. But I like the 429 Boss Roots better. It's got a little bit more crisper detail. There's the other prop. This is the prop we'll probably use, our propeller. And then other, accessorize. I don't know what that is. There's a fire extinguisher. So, we're going to have to review to the instructions because there's quite a bit of things that we're not aware of what they are. But we'll give you a good look at it anyways. And then we have the Krager's. Like I said, there's only 4. So we will go through our parts box and find 2 more that match what the kit has. That way all tires and wheels match. Another steering wheel. A nice Chevy grill and bumper combo. I wish they were separate, but no big deal. We do have the coils, most likely for the back or the front, one of the two. Wiper blades and arms, air cleaner, timing chain cover, carburetor, which we may change the carburetor, give a little more detailed carburetor if we do open the hood. Valve covers, the fan, which would not get chrome, mirrors, factory hubcaps, which are cool to have. There's the fog lights for the front. One of the housings. There's one. There we go. There's a rear bumper. More brackets. I'm sure those are for the mirrors here. Don't know what that is. We'll have to look and see. But yeah, the chrome looks pretty good from what I see. No flash really to speak of. A couple little nibs here and there, but nothing really awful bad. So we'll try to just stick with the kit chrome. That way we don't have to do a lot of re-chroming. There is a few pieces that we'll have to strip, of course, and then redo ourselves. Big hunk of plastic here with the body. Open that up and take a look at it. And it's got the chassis with it. Again, make sure no little loose parts. Set to the side. Here's the base. Now this ain't the chassis. This is just the floorboard, wheel wells. In this case, we're not going to tub it to put wide tires. The wide tires would stick out, staying with that 70s, early 80s look. Even back in the 60s, late 60s to the early 80s. So they custom vans had a really good run, and I still see one every once in a while on the street. So there's still a passion for it out there. It's got the textured simulated carpet in it, which is nice. Gives you options. And then you look at the van body. We'll turn it upside down and you can see there is an opening for the sunroof, and then around the outer perimeter the glass roof. So if you want to really do the interior of this up, you'd want to install a glass roof. That way everybody can look down through the top and see all the creations that you made inside. The panel lines are really deep on this. I don't see any need to clean up anywhere. Stay in focus. It would take panel line wash really, really easy. This side as well. Very nice. May need to, through here and through here, maybe deepen that just a hair. But across the bottom on this one. But this one looks really good and crisp. Little tiny flash, which is common on the wheel wells, so that comes off easy. I like that it's not attached to a sprue, so you don't have that big hunk connection point. It's got a little connection point that cleans up really nice. So we just got to decide if we want to do just sunroof or if we want to do the whole glass roof. So we'll think on that for a while and decide what we're going to do. The hood is not opened. I will mock up with just the block, the chassis, and the floorboard, and see the position of the engine. If we were to open the hood, what we'll actually see, if it's worth even opening. If it is, well, by God, we'll we'll open the hood. And that way we can see that. Because once again, inside you won't be able to see down through here any of the engine. You may see, if you look at the floorboard the way it is, there is a visual area. So definitely we want to do enough to where if they turn it upside down, they could look at it and see some detail. Let's put that back inside that. There we go. We'll slide her back down into the bag. And keep from getting any dirt, dust, or grime on it. Next little baggie here. We've got all of our clear parts. We got the rectangle windows. We got bubble windows. We've got sunroof, side glass, and then we've got the windshield back here. So the back of the van does not have windows. Sure, it has areas you could cut out and make windows if you wanted to go that degree, but we are not. We may, I don't know. That one might be a tricky one for us. We've never done anything like that. Open those doors in the back. So that's, again, you know, you gotta put a little thought into it. We won't open this up because we don't want the glass to get scratched. But you do have the, I guess, you know, this was the Chevy police van or rescue van. So it's got the amber lights, the red lights for the sirens, and then all the other lights, which we also have in clear up here. The yellow headlights, red headlights, so on and so forth, or lenses. So that'll go into our junkyard for extra parts for whatever. Maybe we'll use these amber marker lights and the red square tail lights, of course. Yeah, so that's the clear mess. And then we've got our boat here. This is just, well, this is both cameras, top and bottom. So we'll open this up, take it out, take a look at it. First thing, there is some pin marks here, but again, that's underneath, you'll never see it, so we'll just lightly clean that up, not to interfere with anything. Same way here and here, and there's a light one right here. That'll just take some gentle cleanup because at the end of the day, it'll never be seen. Here's the hull of the boat. It is a V-hull, and then goes into a flat bottom in the back. There's still a little bit of a hump here, and on the chrome tree was the fins for the bottom of the boat. Top of the boat here, we do have simulated wood here, here, and back to here. So, and if you look close, you can kind of see it looks like it's all one sheet. We could very well graft in balsa wood all up on here and sand it down on the edges to where it blends in, and, you know, maybe even putty up to where it meets it. Nice. We may have to kind of trial fit those pieces and see if we can do that. I think that'd be a more realistic look. You can let me know down in the comments what you think if we should attempt to put balsa wood simulating real wood where we can stain it all on the top here, because I definitely want the wood look. I like that because it breaks up the hull of the boat, and then gives a real nice feature and time era of the boat. Again, like I said, I don't know, you can kind of see, maybe there we go, you can kind of see there the simulated wood grain, and it doesn't look like it's planks, it looks like it's all one piece. So, I mean, in real life there's somewhere there'd be a seam, but balsa wood we can get in that width and real thin, and we can get it cut to the shape basically right where you see my fingers sliding down. It goes, it's this part's smooth coming down the side to the wood. So we most definitely could cut this out all in here and then fit and then bend the wood here up to the supports here. We would lose a little bit of this detail on the inside, the edge. So we may just do a surface and then sand the sides down to blend them into the sides of the boat. and conform this shape. And then, this is flat. So we're only giving a little grade here. And the side is going to get feathered down, smooth into the actual fiberglass part of the boat. Or even if the boat was made out of wood. Now, as far as fitment, just a dry test. So you can see that's kind of the seam we're going to end up with. We can work that, get that blended in, sand it down, and we can come back with putty if we need to. But this works in our favor for the fade. So the fade is coming down just from here. So you can see light hits here, there's shinier here, and then it gets duller here. So we know we want this, the white or silver, whatever we go with, on the top. And then the fade would come in from underneath. And then about right here, we go back into the light. And then stay dark, down here, follow that line. We may just kind of end it like right here, follow this line. You see up here, follow that down at an angle. And then fade up to light. So, we definitely got to do a dry mock. Kind of make some marks, get a better idea of how I want the fade to actually work, and see if it will work. It's going to require a little bit of masking. Mostly we're just spraying over top of the other to fade it in. That fits really good. May require a little putty right back here after sanding, but overall, yeah, a good fit. So they did a nice job on the boat. Let's see. Yeah, we'll open this one. Let's got some of the parts in it that we're interested. I'd say this is the 350 Chevy. It may be. No, that's not the Ford. That's the Chevy. There's the blower drive. Don't know what these are. These may be the panels for inside the van, or the boat, actually, I guess. Yeah, the boat. Interior side panels for the boat. The boat seats. That looks like maybe a fuel cell for the boat. This may very well be the base block to the 427, since the blower drive is right there. But there's the boat seats. They look really cool. We'll definitely give them a little custom treatment. Get this out of the way. It's blocking. I don't know what this is. This may be the axle for the trailer. I'm not for sure. Something. That's what it looks like. Here's the boat trailer. Very nice. Nice wide trailer. A-frame. Leaf springs. And yeah, it's got the steelies. That's why you'd use those center caps. Center pole. We may scratch build a couple more of these and add a center brace to the frame, to where when the boat comes in, it hits the first one and transitions up to this one. And then add some framing in between these for support, like it should have on the real trailer. Even though boats are pretty light, but you come in up on the trailer and then you just hit this, it's going to bend that really easy. So even though it's not real, we want to keep it like it should be. So most definitely we'll probably be adding a center frame rail back to here, and then adding at least 2 more of the supports for the front of the boat, transitioning from low to high, this being the highest, and the other 2 would be a little shorter, mounted on top of this frame rail, and then supports in between, or from here down to the frame behind each one, or in front of it actually would be the best. So pushing, it's got support to hold back this way. So we'll do a little modification there. Other than that, the trailer looks really nice. Very minimal cleanup. There's some injection mold points here. We can get that out. We have a little tool now to get in there and sand those out so they're not seen. And then the top of the trailer, these guide rails, they're usually wrapped in that indoor-outdoor carpet. We will do something similar to that to give that appearance. So yeah, there's most of the trailer. And yeah, here's the heads for the engine, front drive, blower or the tri-carb setup, pair of skis. We can definitely detail those up. There's some wheel sleeves for something, probably for the trailer. Exhausts, that's your, not, just, what would be, that would be the dry, wet exhaust. Dashboard, floor pan for the boat, for the seats. So with that same texture on it. And always check, make sure there's no loose parts. So I put that on there, so all that goes back in there. Oh, and we've got more. And it's going to take a few minutes, guys. You know me in the long videos. So far no loose parts, that's good. Look. There's the hood with hinge. So we can remove the hood and the hood does open. So that is a nice feature. You just got to be mindful when you're scribing out to scribe, I guess, a little shorter. Right here. So, I mean, you can see the body line or the panel line right here. So when there is the spare part, I like to cut back a little less or a little more, whichever way you want to look at it. That way, then I can sand down to keep this body line tight to this piece. You don't want to just get in there and start etching away, then you may have too big of a gap for this hood to fit right. So you're better off with more material and have to work it back. Now, if you visually see that once you scribe that out, sorry for the, there's a lot of bright colors here and a lot of light overhead. If that is going to line up perfect, then by all means, scribe it out, fit your new hood in there, and go on with it. So yeah, we will be opening the hood because we do have a hood. It makes me have to prevent, because it's got the hinges on it. I don't have to worry about that. The firewall has the place for the hinge, so all that will function. These would be the wheel sleeves for the main wheels. Our single exhaust, which we will not be using. The van will have dual exhaust. Here's the frame to the van, which is nice. That allows me to lay out my exhaust where we want it to run. We'll either side port it in front of the rear wheels, or we may run it all the way out to the back bumper. That's yet to be seen. But nice separate frame, nice locating places for your leaf springs. Remember, I did get a set of traction bars at the show this past weekend. That's what they'll be going on, is this. Should have got 2 coolers. That would have been a good thing to put in the back of the boat, but oh well. I can always find a file and print one out. Hopefully the printer will be up and running by then. This Saturday, my son's coming over to format the new flash drives and download the files to them, and then put a couple files on them, and we're going to see if it'll work. If it does not, then we're going to replace the motherboard, and then we'll know, if nothing's still working at that point. I have no clue what it could be. Then it's time to start making phone calls to AnyCubic and getting a hold of somebody that speaks English that could explain it to me step by step. So, but then again, here's our frame. I want to put that over there. Our firewall, we did look at that. Here's some, I don't know what these parts are. You guys can take a look at them. We'll find out via the instructions, of course. Those look like sun visors, but I don't think they are. They'd be off both for the same side, so they're definitely something. They wouldn't be in here. You've seen the frame. Now here's the van's interior. Here's our doghouse engine covers. Looks like there's 2 of them. The backs to the seats. Here's the front seats. The diff looks narrowed. Don't know why. Guess it is not. It's the right right format to fit on the frame. So we're definitely going to have to, we may have to work out something different on the rear tires to get a little width to the tires. Then we got our backer lights, shocks, license plate cover, or license plate frames for you to put your decals on, or your personal decals, cross members, pins, don't know what that is, shocks, leaf springs, I have no clue what that is. I mean, if that was back in the 40s or 50s, I'd say it'd be the generator, but no. This is got to be part of the hitch. That's what it looks like anyways. These may be the spindles. Looks like it may be. If these are the spindles, this gives you an option of a higher part and a lower. I don't know. That's what they look like, but who knows what they are. So, get that out of the way. A lot of parts between the two things. I think that's the last. Nope, there's one more little baggie in there. We'll open this up. Maybe. Oops, sorry guys. Again, making sure there's no little loose parts. I do like that they're putting holes in the bags. It lets that plastic styrene breathe. Yeah, so we have our stock exhaust manifolds for the 350. There's the 350 belt drive, starter, distributor, which we probably won't be using if we do go through all that. Drive shafts. It is a two-piece drive shaft. It have a carrier bearing in between. Stock intake, oil pan, cylinder heads. Again, there's your battery, water pump. It looks like probably the coil. We've got hoses, trailer hitch, it looks like parts, steering column, lower radiator hose, some, whatever these are, knuckles. There's this, don't know what that is, maybe that's the emergency brake. That's what it kind of looks like. Who knows? We'll find out though. Here we have our fan shroud, radiator, more wheel backs, control arms, more cross members. Don't know what that is there. That's a flat plate for something. Well, it's got a little shape to it, so it goes, who knows? Don't know. And there's a doghouse, more in depth. Those other ones may have been for the boat or something, I don't know. But we'll find out. I definitely like this doghouse cover a lot better. It's got the kind of built-in console for your scrap, pencils, pens, whatever, phone, drinks. And then you open it up and there's like a glove box in the top. So I like that detail a little bit better. So that's what we'll probably be using there. Spare tire cover for the back. I do like this look, so we'll be putting that on there. And we may fit a tire inside there if this is the half cover for it. That way you can look underneath there and actually see that there's a tire in there. The steering wheel, that to me looks like the spindle there. More so for the steering mechanisms to hook up. There's another axle looking thing. I don't know. That's got two small pins. The exhaust, or the side pipes and the headers for the van. It's definitely going to get those. They will get chromed. I do not like these seats. That's too retro looking. I like the lower back seats. I don't know. It's just personal preference. But you also have, set of Steelies that you could use on something else. And there's the knuckles. So yeah, those were the spindles right here, and here's the knuckles right there. So you can see how it's got the little grooves. These would go on the back side of this. So you could actually do opposed steering if you wanted to, a permanent one. And then here's the pins to go through them for the tire or the mount of the wheels. But yeah, I mean, everything looks good. Very little flash, which I really like. So get that one, and one of our wheel backs fell off. So put that in the box. Our last little bag, we don't need to open. It's just a steel axle. I'd say this is for the van. We will use that, of course, because it'll hold the rear tires on. Our big thing is, everybody's excited about seeing instructions, but we're just going to kind of glance at them. Here's the separate instructions for the boat. And, gives you some ideas, what to look for, what not to do, blah, blah. If you're just building this box stock, it shows you everything you need to do, the options. So we were right. That is the gas tank. That's the optional exhaust manifolds we looked at. I like the zoomies. We may very well end up going with that. I don't know. It just all depends on how things look mocked up. There's our out drive, or V drive as they're calling it. There's our seats. That is the floorboard we looked at. The 2-foot pedals. This goes back here. We thought it was the steering wheel. It's the rudder control. Then our skis. There's our rudder. Yep, that goes to the trim tabs of the back of the boat. So we'd have to get that detailed up really good. Our dash and our steering wheel. We do have some tachometer mount for up on there. And then, of course, the gauge clusters down here in the steering wheel. So, yeah, I mean, we can... And, yeah, that's not the side panel. It looks like it's the floor panel for the drive of the boat. Or we thought maybe they were the side panels. So, yeah, and there's more detail for the trailer. Showing you placement of decals. That one is the propeller shaft. One long pole we thought might be an axle. And the optional props or propellers, whichever one. And there's those skid rudders right there. They're in chrome. We will unchrome that, and that'll get painted to match the boat. So there's a couple parts here and there we're going to have to go through and make sure that we strip. And then the van, this is pretty cut and dry. It's a 75 Chevy van. Read this before you begin, as always. I mean, I don't even have to look at this to put it together. Same way with assembly of the tires and wheels. I really don't have to look at the instructions anymore at all. I mean, sometimes there's a key piece I have to kind of look up, and I'll mark it in here, and that way I know, maybe next time I know exactly what it is. But definitely, it's a single exhaust, Y exhaust. So we will change that. We will probably use the kit up to the muffler, and we'll graft a piece on here. We'll keep the cross pipe in place. We'll run 2 aftermarket mufflers, and then I will bend solder to match this and reverse it for the other side. So that's how we'll run the exhaust. So we'll have dual exhaust. Leaf spring application, our steering shaft. That's all part of the tie rod, and the gear idler arm bracket, so it's not an emergency brake. Those one things we saw were seat bases, not doghouse covers. Get it over here. See where I'm pointing at. That is our doghouse cover, so that's good. Detail on the dash. Rear axle is metal. 2-piece drive shaft. What I thought was the trailer hitch is the carrier bearing. There's our trailer hitch back here in the little ball. And then note, do not use with step rear bumper. Okay, so I didn't see a step rear bumper in the kit, so we should be golden with that. And then our application of tires and wheels, radiator, so on and so forth. Now here's where you can see how much room we got to look down at the top of the engine. Not a lot, especially when a Chevy is distributors in the rear, so you're going to see very little detail. Now we can make this piece just set in place and still detail up the engine. and have it scooted back. And if we put the glass on the roof, then that will all be visible. So it'd be worth doing the detail. We just got to figure that out. Then we have a choice of steering wheels down here, which is always nice. Doesn't mean I'll still use either one of them, but... And then application of bumpers, tail lights, headlights, grills, glass, your side pipes, if you choose so, the mirrors. And then it's got the aqua rod decals or the ugly ones that I talk about. I mean, it does, it looks okay. It's just, it's not my forte. Then, of course, here's your paint colors. So, depending on what you wanted to do. So, I don't like wasting a lot of time on directions. Put those back in there. We're going to open up these decals. It's a huge, can't even fit it in the screen. See how big that sheet is? It's a big sheet of decals. There we go. That's how you lose parts, Rick. We're going to take a look at this. I keep this stuff, guys. This is how I layer my decals in my drawers to keep them from getting rubbed or scratched as best as I can anyways. This we do not like. If anybody wants this and does like that look, I will be glad to cut that off of here and send that to you. Because I will never, ever use that detail. What we want is from here down. Got that nice red stripe. I don't know what that's for. I'll have to look in the instructions. I don't see that going down the side of the van or the top of the van anywhere. Does not mean that it would not or could not be used for that. I do like these. If these contrast to the colors, we will use these. If they don't, then I may cut these out as a template and cut two templates out of it, actually, the dark blue and the lighter blue, and use those as masks and create my own color to coordinate with what we decide to do on there. But we do like the aqua rod lettering here that will get used. I always like to use one tag from the kit on the van, and then of course, you know, my personal tag goes on the back. So the boat will get my personal tag, the back of the van will get my personal tag, and then the front of the van we will probably use either this one here or this one. Depends on the color scheme again, which will look the best. You know, maybe that looks the best. I don't know. But we've got California tags, Hawaii tags. So 2 sets of California, 2 sets of Hawaii. So, you know, it gives you a wide variety of do. Now, there is no decals for the instrument cluster on the van, dash, or the boat, anything like that. So we'll have to, you know, go to our parts box to find some decals that'll work and fit. Definitely for the boat, because we will dress that up because it is open and visible. The tachometer, I may go to a newer style tack with a shift indicator type thing. I'm very, very uncertain about that yet. But soon as we get, let me get you here. Soon as we get to where we can start to build on this, let me get a drink. We will have some more definitive answers, the route I'm going to go, so on and so forth. But right now, like I said, we're planning to do a fade from light to dark on the van, and the dark shifts from the front of the van to the back of the van to the bottom of the boat and up the sides of the boat a little bit, then fading back into the lighter color in the back. Definitely want to try adding real wood to the top surfaces of the boat. I feel like doing that, and then we can sand the edges to blend into the hull of the boat, hopefully. That's why we kind of want to just cut our pieces, and I know the back ones wouldn't be any problem. It's the front one, because there is like a little lip around the front of the boat. We may have to add some strips of styrene and sand that all down and blend it in to give the lip back once we put the balsa wood on top because of the thickness of the balsa wood. So that, that may take a little time. I want this to be a really good project. I want it something I can take it to the show, maybe even. So, this is not going to be a huge build, but pretty in-depth because we've got this one and we've got Jay's full-blown custom build. And then I have one other planned for the year where, it'll get a lot of detail. Other than what we're working on now, like the 32 is getting quite a bit of detail. The Ring Brothers Charger is getting a lot of detail. But we're lapsing those two from last year to this year, so we're a good ways into it. So it's not like it's going to take a super long time this year. And we have to keep that window open of time frame between now and Acme to get a vet done. Whether it can be the one I've been wanting to do for years, which is the it's a 62, I think. Yeah, 62 vet. I think that's the kit, or yeah, I think I kit bashed the 60 to get parts, and the main kit is a 62, and then we have a 572 big block that will have the cross ram induction in it. It also will have all black braided hoses. That's what we're waiting for. The car is black with red interior. It is a beautiful car. It can be seen on Instagram. I had the wheels custom made one off. The real aluminum sleeves, 3D printed centers that will get chromed. The trunk will open, the hood will open, the doors will not. It is a convertible, so the interior again will be highly detailed. When you got open space like that, you just don't want to do it stock unless you're just going in the box stock class. But with me, it's open. I'm like, oh man, people can really see down in here good. This is the spot I want to focus on. So it'll be the interior and the engine on this car and what's in the trunk. So those 3 points. So it's going to take quite a while because I will have to modify to fit that 572 down in there and keep everything underneath the hood. And then everything's in black and purple underneath the hood. Purple anodized fittings, the black hoses, chrome here and there. So, cross ram, we got to put the linkages on there. We got to get the fuel lines ran. So that there's a lot of intricate work. So that could be a possible build for Acme, is if the hoses come in time. If not, we're going to revert back to the double team of the Grand Sport Corvettes from Accurate Miniatures. One's blue, one's white. They both are a highly detailed kit right out of the box. We will add a few embellishments to add to what it has. They would get painted just like they are on the box with a nice base. Maybe a little corner section of the racetrack or something they're both on. But that's my idea for Acme, because everything else I have, like, I'm only going to take 4. So, it's getting the Charger done, getting the 32 done, possibly the aqua rod, or definitely one or two of the vets there. Depends on which route we go. As always, I want to thank all my past, present, and future subscribers. We took a hard hit from last week to this week. I've lost 15 subscribers, and now we're back to 847. So I don't know if any of those came back or if those are new. So that's you can kind of see how the channel's taking a hit all the time. We have been as high as 848, almost 850, and then we dropped all the way back down to 844. Then we bounced right back up to 845, and then in like a couple days we went back up to 848, and then boom, we went down to 845, back up to 848, down to 845, back to 848, down to 845, and then we went to 847. We stayed there for days, jumped to 848, went back to 847, down to 846, down to 845, down to 844, and then now we're back up to 847. So if you count up all those gained and lost, it's close to 15 subscribers. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't care anymore. Why it's doing that? It just really, it's kind of like, huh. So then I got to think back. Well, I don't do a lot of actual filming of me building. That could be part of it. Uh, People don't like the long videos. Hey, yes, it could be part of it. I may just be maxed out, and the people that follow me, I know a lot of them are a lot older, and I appreciate all of them. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's just I appreciate the fact that you watch these videos and you like them. Uh, but our giveaway is set at 1,000. It's just all the stuff's just sitting here collecting dust. So that's why I reached out to you guys a video or two ago. Hit those comments. I know a lot of people don't like to leave comments, but hit those comments. That like pumps the channel up, because we got to play the game, the algorithm game. We have to play that. I don't have no choice. So the only way we can do that is to make the videos popular, get it into a range of where more people are getting maybe a chance to view it, and maybe, hey, I like that, and they'll subscribe and follow along, and keeping everybody regularly watching, I guess, because that keeps it more popular. If you become less popular and kind of fall down into a comfort zone, then I think that's when YouTube starts playing with your numbers. Well, we'll just knock off 2 or 3 here. We'll knock off 2 or 3 here, and that bumps me down, where I'm not in the same viewing frame as where I was. I remember a time when the channel was growing really fast, which was odd to me, but it grew really fast, and my videos were like up here in the top, with the guys that are drawing hundreds of thousands of dollars. The viewing range is the way it comes up on the TV. And then it dropped down. I was like, okay, well, this is right here. This is where I need to be and where I want to be. Regularly, and it was staying in that spot. Then I noticed when we started playing this back and forth game, the viewing area that they place it in gets less and less and less and less, advantage of viewing. Kind of like getting sent to the back of the classroom, putting baby in the corner, however you want to look at it. That's kind of what's happened to us. That's why I say it's imperative that you guys feedback down in the comments. And if they're going to be, a lengthy one, just send me an email. Same way if you want to send me pictures of your work, send it via email. But please be descriptive of what you've done or what you plan to do. That way, like it would be like me sitting here talking to you, and I could understand what you're doing and your line of sight and vision is on it and where you're at with it. That just helps me. It's like, I explain all it to you guys when I do something, and this is your way to, do it back to me, so I know exactly what you're doing. So I like that. But, short, sweet comments, or even, whatever, fill up your space. I'm appreciative of all of it. But get this channel boosted back up. Let's get it up there, and let's keep it up there. Spread the word. Get other people. Just watch the channel, hit that subscribe button, and make sure they check back and make sure they're still subscribed to it, because YouTube does. They'll knock off the subs. And I've had people already tell me they were subscribed and now they're not. They had to resubscribe. So they didn't do it. I can't do it. I didn't do it. So there's only another one possibility. And it's not YouTube independent. It's just their system they're on. It's like Facebook. You had, say, 6,000 followers. And then Facebook started this new algorithm, and it's like, well, they knock off all these. If you're not constant communication with them and it's not 100% active, then they knock them off. And then you see all these new friend requests. And you're like, well, is this their account hacked? And then you're calling your friends, hey, are you trying to yeah, man, I was following you. Now I'm not. It was Facebook doing it. So it's kind of the same as YouTube, from what I've seen and what I've researched, that it's doing that. So the only way to do it is get my channel as popular as we can get it and keep it there. That way the channel grows. The better the channel grows, the better content I can bring. Again, it's not financial gain. It's just gain of the quality of products that we can start bringing in here for you guys to see, for you to see how I do with it, the craziness that I am, so on and so forth. So that's the only part that I'm really concerned with. I don't want to fade off into the dark, and you guys have to just fade off with me, and we never, we're constantly backtracking, 4 steps forward, 6 steps back, 4 steps forward, 6 steps back. Then you start adding up those 2 steps every time that you're losing. That adds up pretty quick, and that's what we've been doing for the past 4 months, 5 months. So, by all means, if you think there's something I should be doing, I shouldn't be doing, leave it down in the comments. Just be courteous. That's all I ask. I'm just asking for positive input, and keep comments coming. I get it. I watch a shit ton of videos, and I don't always get to comment. And most of the time I can't because I'm on the big screen TV upstairs. And like I said, it won't let you comment. It'll let you thumbs up. But I always do a thumbs up and watch the videos in their entirety. Even if it takes me 2 or 3 sittings to do it, I do it. Or I can sit there the whole time and watch it. My YouTube is my TV. I get my news that way. I get history. I get goofiness. I get my hobby, the hugeness that it is. Informative stuff, how to do things, how to repair something. YouTube is to me is a lot better than regular TV. Now I do have some shows that we watch on regular TV, but 90% of my TV viewing is all YouTube and related to the hobby or just things I like. And I'll sit there for 2 or 3 hours and watch an artist paint something, or a sculptor sculpt something, and follow him every step of the way from the beginning to the end of it, because I want to see what it looks like. So, for the hour videos that I make, even if you guys got to break it up into segments, please do it. But spread the word, spread the love. That's by hitting that subscription button. Hit that bell notification right next to it. You'll know when all these crazy videos come out. And comment down below. Like with this aqua rod. Mark at Hobby Nut Models. His link's always down there. You're looking for this? Hit that link. Go get you one. If he's out of them, just tell him email him, and then let him know you want one, and he'll get it in for you, and you'll get what you want. If not, there's tools, paintbrushes, paints, all that stuff. Even though I don't always use MCW paints, it's just MCW has a beautiful range of paints, but they're not the range that I want for this. So I have to look at something else, and that's either what I already have or order something to go with what I already have to create what I'm looking at doing. Like I said, we will get to that, and we'll see. I may only use the 2 colors that I already have. So it really just depends. So until then, today is Wednesday. Please be safe. If you can, get some modeling in. I look forward to all your great comments, emails. I have contacted my niece, so she's going to be starting this Sunday. We're going over to their house for dinner. They just bought a new house, so they invited us over for a barbecue and get to see the house, and I can sit down with my niece and kind of brainstorm for the new shop cards. Those will be released at Acme. That'll be the first time, so I'll be handing out new shop cards to existing people that already have them, and then they'll be available for whoever's at the show. Then after that, they'll be available to be sent to you. I am going to have stickers made this time also. So you'll get a shop card and a sticker. If you just want one or the other after the fact, you just got to let me know which one you'd rather have, and I'll send that to you. So that being said, we will be back Friday with what's on the bench. Heads up, the Volkswagen is done. The 40 Ford for the small scale group build is done. So that will be the final reveal of both of those on Friday. I've got not quite a bit, but I got a good amount down on the 32. So we'll touch base on that. The Charger, I've not got to work on this week because my wife has been working on hers on that build site. So I've just been concentrating on the 32, which is okay. The Ghost of Kiev, we've got a few things done, but not a lot. It just depends on what I get done between now and then. I still have some more doctor's appointments. Uh, and, you know, we can get going. Today, I'm going to be focused on getting stuff moved from the toolbox into the cabinet, from the entertainment center into the cabinet, to get the toolbox out of here and get the entertainment center out of here by Saturday. Then it's just moving the diorama table over there, then readjusting everything and just kind of seeing what I got to do from there to get everything connected back up. That may take a little longer, but we can get this out of the way to its permanent spot. And yeah, that's about it. So we'll see you on Friday with what's on my bench. You guys have a safe rest of your week. Get some modeling in. Again, thumbs up, thumbs down, hit the bell notification. While you're, you know, if you haven't already, subscribe. It's free. Go check out all the great sponsors of the channel. They're always down below with my email. Contact me via email for anything. Something you see you want to see more in depth of. Any questions, concerns, anything like that, guys. But again, it takes not just me. It takes all of us to make this channel really popular. We got to make it where it's, hey, they're like, hey man, look at all these people watching this guy's channel. We're going to get it up in here. Apparently there's a lot more, and that makes it more popular. Therefore, it's in a better viewing area on YouTube, and the possibilities are higher that we can start pulling in some subs, and we can keep this momentum going. Like I said, I just don't want to fade off into nothing for everything I've already done, and for all you guys' patience of staying with me and watching. That the end result is just we keep getting bigger and better. I think it helps you, it helps me. It makes everything worth the effort. So please, you know, help me however you can, and know that I certainly do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on Friday. This is Rusty Rotor. I'm out.